Nigerians are well-traveled. You find them on the different continents of the world. Now, in 2018, records show that Nigerians in the diaspora remitted about 8 trillion naira to Nigeria's GDP and some other huge contributions to the GDP of the countries of their residents. Now, they're also flying the Nigerian flag very high. Let's take, for instance, Dr. OLUTOYE or OLUYINKA. That's a Nigerian US-based doctor who removed a baby from the womb and also removed the tumor and returned the baby at 23 weeks. That's one of them. Of course, you heard of some other great Nigerians doing phenomenal things around the world. One of them is my guest. But for some other Nigerians that are receiving unfair treatment in foreign countries, what is being done to stop this very act, knowing fully well that Nigerians contribute immensely to the development of these countries? Why are we getting such treatment? Well, on this edition of the program, we'll focus on Nigerians in diaspora, beautiful issues, the challenges, and what next with them in the diaspora and meeting the aspirations of those of us in the country. My name is Blessing Abu. Welcome to On the Spot on NTA News 24. My guest was born and bred in Jos, Plateau State, before moving to the United Kingdom in September 2008. Well, she has a Bachelor of Arts in English, but she also has an interest in sport education. So, for a postgraduate studies, she did something in sports and exercise science. My guest was elected Wolverhampton City Councillor in May 2018 after unseating the opposition, making her the first black councillor for Penward. She is also into women empowerment, and that's Aviva Women Empowerment Foundation. She's the chief executive. My guest is also the vice chair, Transport Delivery West Midlands Combined Authority, that's the Wolverhampton Planning Committee, and also Birmingham Airport Consultative Committee. On the spot with me is Celia Osakwe. Hibbert. Yeah.
Lafayette, hello.
Just girl.
Yes,
so that means the route is still there for us to carry around the world.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course,
now, moving to the UK for you was a dream come true, or what actually made you go on that journey?
Well, now, because in retrospect, I wouldn't really say it's a dream come true. I was just apprehensive of what the future had for me. Don't forget, I'm living my comfort zone to an area where I know absolutely nothing about. I knew nobody there. You know, I wasn't financially secured either, because I remember I don't think I went with more than £200 to the United Kingdom. So you could imagine my state of mind then. But if you ask me today, I would say, yes, it's a dream come true. But if you asked me back then, I'd say, I don't know, you know. So, yeah.
So, with a mind that time, 2008, just like most Nigerians or young Nigerians are doing today, just, I'm going, without actually defining what it was that you were going for, or I wouldn't know if that's your story, but many Nigerians actually move in the numbers out of the country, seeking greener pasture. Is the grass always green, really?
Well, we have the saying that says the grass is always greener on the other side, and that doesn't mean the grass is actually greener on the other side. The grass is what the grass is on all sides, is how you make that grass look, and how if you can change that grass to green color, and then you can talk from your own perspective and say, yes, the grass is greener on this side, but believe it or not, you're the one who is going to paint that grass the color you want it. Because if you live in Nigeria and you want your grass to be green, you can water your grass, you can make your grass green. If you go to the United Kingdom, you want your grass green, it's not being given to you. You have to cultivate that grass, you have to water that grass, you have to make it green. Not everybody that goes to the United Kingdom sees a green grass. And not everybody that lives in Nigeria has a brown grass. Some people live in Nigeria and have a green grass. Some people live in the United Kingdom and have a brown grass. So in my opinion, I think your grass is whatever color you want it to be.
Now, you went in 2008, and behold, today, just sometimes last year, you elected city councillor. Tell us about it. What magic?
I don't know. Yes, even to me, it's still sometimes it does seem magical. But when I just sit down and look back, I'm like, it's not really magical. You could have foreseen it coming. You know, it was an aggressive hard work in there, right there. When I look back, like I take a lot of photos. So when I look back at my photos, it tells me the story, it tells me how much hard work I've put in. Things happen so fast. You don't normally have the time to sit down and articulate how much effort you've been putting in. And that's what makes photos fantastic, because when you have the opportunity to look at those journeys you've created through your photo album, then you're like, oh my God, I've done so much. So when you see this archive of your industriousness, then you could actually see it was a long time coming, really. You know, it seems magical, but when you dig deeper, you find out it wasn't really magical.
Was it easy for you
going
not into that terrain?
It was
you
not.
Actually unseat the opposition.
I did unseat the opposition, and that was a big deal. In fact, if you ask me, if you ask anybody in United Kingdom, that is a massive, massive big deal. You don't come in as a Labour Party and take a Conservative seat. You know, it's like going into a terrain that is PDP, the vote PDP, whatever the case, and then you come in there as an APC and take the vote. You must have had something different. You must have worked your socks off.
So what do you think actually stood out for you? The one, you're a lady, and I know some of this doesn't count in some parts of the world. But
no,
if you're coming from...
You're wrong. It does count.
It does?
Yes.
Wow. Tell us about it.
Yes, there is still gender discrimination across the globe. There is a recent study that actually did analyze, saying how close are we to actualizing International Women's Day Vision 2030, which is making sure that every woman have equal rights to education, you know, equal rights to, gender, pay gaps and all that. The analysis shows that there is no country on the planet that is on target to attaining International Women's Vision 2030. So that gives you your perspective there.
What worked for you in this instance?
Well,
or what do you think?
What I think. So I think everything came together at the right time for me, to be honest with you, because I was standing against a white male who was born there. And look at me, of course, you cannot mistake the fact that I'm black, you know, and then I had the short blonde hair as well. So there was nowhere for me to hide, really. And I was up against, even in England, people still prefer white men in politics. As I speak to you, we still suffer serious amounts of misogyny in politics. For the fact you're a woman, they think it's not your place to be in the chambers. So you constantly are fighting your place. And for a black woman, it's even worse. Somebody like myself, I'm constantly, fighting the middle-aged white men for my space. I said, come on, I earned my space to be here. It wasn't handed to me. I went out, knocked the doors, and got the votes out, and people voted for me. So I have the right to be in the chamber. So what stood out for me, I think is hard work. I think I put in so much work. I was in people's homes, knocking the doors, talking to them, selling them my vision, selling them the alternative, telling them that do not look just on the color of my skin, look deeper, find out my qualities, my character and characteristics, and vote me on this basis. Give me the chance. And I think they bought my story. Well, it's not quite a story, they bought my vision, and then here I am.
So translating that to our own environment here, you see that happening just as easy as, well, it wasn't easy, just like you've pointed out, but then seeing what you stood for, the passion with which you went about it. Let's translate back to this environment. Supposing as you were born in Jos,
yes.
You wanted to stand in such opposition.
I think in every environment there are hurdles, believe it or not. Just like I said to you, in every environment you can find a green grass. In every environment you can also find a brown grass. So I think you can actually transport what worked in UK to work here. It depends on who you are, how much prepared are you to make it work. I actually think if given the same circumstances and I'm here, I got a ticket in PDP or APC,
or any other party, because those are not just the two parties.
Yeah, tell me, that those are the ones that come out on the tips of my tongue, because they are the they dominate the political
space
in this country. So I'm thinking, if I did the same thing I did in the United Kingdom, I think I'll stand a good chance. I think is a method you can actually propagate. You can propagate it from the United Kingdom in Nigeria, and it will be potent, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a look at the greatest concerns for Nigerians in diaspora. Be it in the UK, be it in Europe, US, I'm sure there is synergy meetings and also collaborations from time to time. What are your greatest concerns?
My greatest concern is Nigeria losing brains, like the brain drain going on, people who are very talented but haven't really had an environment to be able to grow their talent or have that opportunity to be able to show what they are made up of, and then they migrate. I also think when they've migrated, what are the prospects where you're migrating to? You know, what is it? Because there are challenges everywhere. Sure. So the problem for Nigerians in diaspora is, have you actually been able to find out your place? Have you actually been able to live the life, the dream you actually traveled with? Because you could travel with the dream and then you're hit by reality. You need to fight the storm. Because when you don't fight the storm, then you're going to be in problem. It's going to be chaotic for you. So those are the problems that we face as Nigerians who live in the diaspora, is the uncertainty, and whether you're actually going to have the chance, whether people are going to actually give you the chance, whether people are going to buy your vision, your passion. You know, nothing is guaranteed.
Okay, let me drive it further down. I just asked that general sweep of the question because I know everyone, just like you said, have gone out there for different reasons. And if they're not even meeting up such, it behoves them to say, okay, am I coming back home? What am I coming back to? And some will tell them, okay, you failed, whereas others actually succeeded. Now, most of you have been trying to come in with one investment form or the other. You even meeting the government, okay, this is what we think we should do. This is what is happening back there in the climes we are resident in. So, investment-wise, what do you think should be from you in diaspora to the nation at this point? Which areas are you considering? For
me personally, or generally?
Generally, because you are part of the body.
I am, yes, absolutely. That's true.
So if I'm saying you now, it's still you
on behalf of
the rest.
So this actually is a very hot topic in the country at the minute, because that dominated the conversation when we were trying to actually brainstorm what is it we're supposed to be doing, what is our place as diasporans in Nigeria. Believe it or not, some Nigerians who live in Nigeria do not want diasporans back.
Why?
Because they're thinking they're coming to take our jobs, they're coming to take our space, they're coming to take our grafts.
But are you people coming to take our space?
Well, that question is just is a polarized one. I cannot say to you yes or no, you know, because at the end of the day, there are experts on ground and there are experts with the international flair. And when they come in, obviously they're going to be taking jobs. So let's take, for instance, you're a computer analyst and you come back. Surely there are computer analysts in the country. And if you're applying for jobs and they're applying for jobs and you get it, they're going to feel you've taken their job. What I honestly think the country need from diaspora is in two categories. One is physical investment, two is intellectual investment.
Okay, when we return from this break, Celia, I'll be talking to you about some of the things you're passionate about, which is women empowerment, and I'm sure some of the things will interest you as well. So don't you go away, you're watching On The Spot. Welcome back. The program is on the spot on NTA News 24, and I still have Celia Osakwe Hibbert with me. She's an elected Wolverhampton City Councillor back there in the United Kingdom. Okay, Celia, women empowerment is one great area of strength for you.
Yes.
What is it about that women empowerment, really?
Well, I'm a living testimony. Yeah, I was brought up in Jos, then did my first degree in Imo State University, then my youth service in Kebbi State before I left the shores of this nation. And when I encountered education and encountered, some level of empowerment, here I am today. And I cannot be, I must advocate for it because I think it's a game changer. I think if our women are prepared and given the opportunity, our economy will actually be better because women are more than 50% of the population. If you're putting half of your population down and not tapping into their potentials, you're never going to get to the promised land.
So these women, who are they? How do you know who to meet? And what impact has this made in the feedback with you?
The women are everywhere. The woman is the woman I saw last night when I went to Eden Garden to have a drink with my mates. The woman who was competing against the man in talent show on the stage. That's the woman I'm talking about. The woman I'm talking about is the woman who was selling plantain on the streets, coming to this place. That's the woman I'm talking about. The woman I'm talking about is the wife of the taxi driver who died with her child, with her. That's the women I'm talking about. The women I'm talking about are the ones that ring me on the phone telling me they have no money, even though they're prepared to work. There is no job opportunities for them. They're being preyed by men. They're being used as sex objects by men, and they have no choice. They have no alternatives. They have no streams of income. Then they have to fall for what they don't actually want to fall for. That's the woman I'm talking about. I'm talking about every single woman who is underprivileged, not really underprivileged. Every single woman who is destitute in a way or the other, every single woman who is underprivileged, every single woman who has a dream, but is not able to realize that dream. That's the woman I'm talking about.
So what kind of advocacy do you push out to them for them to rise above those challenges?
Well, we are doing things on grassroots activism level, which is going out, talking to the women, providing them opportunities, encouraging them to get into alternative employment, such as Uber driving, or just little things like that, so you can actually have a safety net, some kind of money coming into your hands, so that you're not in a desperate and vulnerable situation where you can be preyed upon. So this is what we're doing on the grassroots level. But what I'm starting to do since my trip is also on a strategic level, because we have to change or at least update our policies in different departments in this country so that it will be a fertile ground for women. I'll give you an instance. In the raw materials department, the Director General, I said to him, how many women are actually in importation and exportation business? It's going to be a handful. It doesn't mean that women cannot do these businesses. It's just that opportunity hasn't been given to them. When I talk about opportunities, I'm not just saying, tell them, oh, you can do importation business. We need to put our money where our mouth is. We go structurally and start looking at how do we do this? Some men might turn around and say, why would you give a woman 1 million, 2 million, but you haven't given me? We call it positive discrimination.
Wow.
That's how we call it in UK. Okay. At the moment, in my party, I'm a member of a Labour Party, there are some seats a man is not allowed to contest on those seats. It's for women. Because we're conscious of the fact that we have only 32% of representation, parliamentary representation, in our national chambers in the United Kingdom. And we're desperate to bring that up to 50%. How do we do this? Then we came up with things like only women seat, only women can vie for these. So we can actually accelerate what we're looking for. And that's what we need to do here in this country. So that's about the raw materials. I think we went to somewhere else as well. And then we went to a school that deals with disabled children. I was asking the woman, do we have extra support for the disabled women? Because they face even extra challenges. She has up to 20-year-olds. These women who are in their puberty would have menstruations. Who is catering for their pads, sanitary towels? We have a campaign now going on in the United Kingdom. It's called the period poverty. The studies found out that 1 in 4 women struggle to afford extra money to buy their pads. These are not luxurious goods. This is something that's happened to us because we're women. Why is the government not tackling it? So luckily we had the essay essay to Abia State government on diaspora. She's actually said to me and promised that I'm going to take this project. Okay. We went to the governor's house. Yes, we were with the governor. She re-pledged again and said, we're going to do this. So I'll be working with her with that. I will also be pushing the government for us to start tackling period poverty by providing sanitary towels in public schools for young people.
Opportunities where people can actually step in to help empower the women. Okay, quickly now, because we must go now. Another area of concern for those of us here is a treatment being meted out to Nigerians in some countries. Well, it could be all over, but ill treatment from one form or the other. And we are concerned how Nigerians in diaspora should protect themselves in those countries of residence. We've seen whether on the continent here, that's in Africa, from South Africa to Ghana to some other parts, as well as other parts. Nigerians seem to be the vulnerable ones in the hands of their foreign hosts. What is Nigerian or the NIDO body and other bodies doing about this? We're
having constant conversations about this. As you would appreciate, the problems are multifaceted. It's not one, it's multidimensional. There are different reasons why these are happening. Some of them are fault of our own government. Some of them are fault of the people themselves who have migrated into the country. Some of them are disgruntled hosts. Like I said to you, when diasporans come in, some people are thinking, you're coming to take our jobs. When we land in these countries, they're thinking, they've come to take our jobs. They've come to take our spaces. An average Nigerian is a very hardworking human being. When they come into somewhere, they will definitely be taking jobs. They'll be taking positions. So they host country, some of the people, indigenous people in that country, naturally will be angry. And they fight back. Some of them fight back verbally. Some of them fight back in every, level of discriminatory manner. Some of them are physical. You heard about people being killed, Nigerians being killed in South Africa. Yes. You hear about women being raped in Kenya, in Ghana, in just name it. Our people are facing unspeakable level of intimidation, level of killings. People lose their lives. We have women in Italy being sexualized against their own will. So there are different levels why this is happening. First of all, if our country is in order, most of the people aren't going to migrate. So our government have a chunk of that blame on them. But again, as individuals, we need to also take care of ourselves. But if you're in a desperate position, sometimes you have to take a desperate decision. Okay. Unfortunately.
Someone is watching right now who is also thinking, yes, I could actually migrate. Give them one word of advice if they must go on that beautiful journey like you did in 2008.
If you want to go to wherever, be it England, be it America, be it Dubai or everywhere, you need to really sit down and ask yourself, is this what I want to do? And if it's what you want to do, you need to... I'm not going to say don't go because I went and I'm glad I went. But some people go and they don't come back. So I guess it's individual fate and individual decision, but make sure you've explored every other option and this is your final option. And when you're going, make sure that you're going legitimately, because when you go into a country legitimately, at least you don't have that side of things to worry about. You can then start striving like any of us. But I'm not going to tell you not to go. I'm not going to tell you to go. You do what's right for you.
I know because you speak Hausa, you speak Igbo.
Yes.
Do you speak Yoruba as well? Dear. Okay. Some of the things you've just said, just sum them up in those brands. Just, this is the journey. Do it this way.
So, nkanaso ko kinaso kije kasa woje just kisena bunde kinaso kiyi ko nkinke wojeng make the right contact. Sorry, I'm just how you put me on the spot right there. So
that's right on the spot.
So gijori ga obodo yibo imotori eba ho gigaro giwa my hichori me. So agamasiga gala agamasiga ga but gigage bacharanja basically. So in Europe I'm gonna struggle a little bit, but is it Jekalo or something? I don't know. Be careful.
Let me save you that trouble. Celia Osakwe, Hibbert, thank you so much for coming on the spot.
Thank you
so much. It's a great delight talking with you.
I've absolutely enjoyed your program.
I enjoyed your company as well. We wish you well as other Nigerians in diaspora. Keep representing us, keep flying the flag high, and we'll trust that you'll bring the great golden fleece bring back home and make sure that the country is better with your contribution as well. Yeah. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that's On the Spot for this week. We appreciate your company as well. Tune in next time for another interesting edition with another interesting guest. My name is Blessing Abu. Goodbye.